Hey everybody, welcome to JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block and I am joined by my good friend Greg Mazzone of LFC TV USA. He's also written columns on our website jlbsports.tv, which we will be contributing more to this January as we are both on our college breaks right now. Now today we have a question for you guys, the viewers. Should Stewart Downing and Joe Cole be sold? Now if you asked us this question maybe a month or even 2 weeks ago, we'd say absolutely yes, 110%. They need to go. They cost so much money. They're ineffective. One of them is injury prone and older. They suck. They gotta go. But things have kind of changed in the past month. The narrative has shifted a little bit. Joe Cole has scored a couple goals in the Europa League. I believe he scored 2 against West Ham, was it? One against West Ham. He scored against West Ham, helped mark that comeback victory. And today, Stewart Downing adds 1 goal and 1 assist, his first goal and assist in the English Premier League for Liverpool in his career. And now we're starting to see it shift. The conversation is shifting. These guys are in form, maybe. Maybe this is a turning point for their careers. Maybe they can even contribute some to Liverpool in the second half of the season and have a major impact on the team. So that being said, should they be sold? Greg, what do you think?
Well, I've made this absolutely clear. First off, I don't think you're ever going to be able to sell Joe Cole. That's just a personal belief.
Right, but we're not saying can we? Should he be?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Look,
and why do you think that?
Look, he costs his wages have been reported to be around 70 grand to 100 grand a week. When you are playing as a bit part player, I'm sorry, that's not good enough, and you have to go. I bet you have to renegotiate your contract.
Right.
Keep in mind that he's going to be around for a year after this. So guess what? Even if you can sell him, you got to get rid of him now. Let's say you get rid of him, you pay half his wages. That's absolutely fine. Just get him off the wage bill. He only lasts 20 minutes at most. He never lasted he lasted a full game at Lille last year, where he went on loan last season 5 times out of the 49 appearances. Everybody made such a big deal out of how much he contributed in Ligue 1. He only played 5 full matches. Why is there being such a big deal out of him? And yes, I completely understand the point. You know, oh well, he contributed. He's still contributing. Mm-hmm. Look, we were making jokes months ago about how he should be put down like a horse for the sake of the wage bill. What's changed at this point that really makes it that significant?
Just a couple goals, that's really it. I agree with you. Just for the sake of his wages, he needs to go. He's on, £100,000 a week. If Brendan Rodgers right now is in the process of tearing down the squad and trying to rebuild it at the same time, so if he can remove Joe Cole for a player that he actually wants at Liverpool for the next 5 to 10 years, then I'm all for it. But now we're moving on to the question now, can he be sold? I think it is possible, just Liverpool would probably have to eat half of his contract. And again, do you want to sell a player when you're essentially paying him to play for another team?
No. Here's the thing. I don't think he can be sold. It's just something. It's just an element to it that he's making so much, and he's at an age in his career. I don't think he can be sold.
All right, so I guess we won't see a move this January. He should move on. I think I've argued multiple times in separate videos that he should be sold. But now we're moving on to another player. A player who I think has ability, has plenty of quality, plenty left to offer, who's much younger than Joe Cole, and Stewart Downing. Now, last year I was a fervent Stewart Downing defender. I thought he got way too much shit. The way that people talked about him, you would assume that Stewart Downing killed their dog or something like that. He was one of the leading chance creators in the EPL last season in terms of clear-cut chances, one of Liverpool's top chances created last season. So for me, last year, he was one of Liverpool's best creators on the ball. And, this whole thing about, he doesn't have any confidence, what does that even mean to me? Can you really tell that? That's an arbitrary fact. I mean, not even a fact. That's an arbitrary thing to say. Downing, for me, was fine last season. The fact that he had no assists was a product of Liverpool's poor finishing and not his creation. The goals are kind of inexcusable, but Liverpool as a whole couldn't really score last season. Now, this season, for the most part, I was like, wow, I guess the Stewart Downing haters were right, because he was horrible. Again, his crosses were aimless. He was playing at left back, which I think was a horrible move by Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, he can come forward and contribute crosses, but he didn't have a clue when it came to his positioning at all. But now he's sort of put it together, a couple of good performances on the wing, scored today, had an assist. Now people are saying, oh, he's full of confidence. Well, yeah, he was playing as an inverted winger and finally showed that bit of Robin, the bit of Iron Robin I knew that he has in him, where he can cut in onto his left foot and strike at goal. And that's exactly what he did today, and he did it very well.
Well, look, this is unfortunately what it is with Downing. We paid 20 million for we paid 20 million pounds for a player that quite essentially, is not good enough. Yes, he is playing with more confidence. Yes, he did get too much shit last year. And yes, him getting no assists was a product of our poor finishing.
Mm-hmm.
But think of it this way. Is it really worth it to have a guy making 80 grand a week sit on the bench?
Yeah, I mean, he's making 60 to 80,000 pounds a week. So I think for Downing, even though I think he's a player that has a ton of ability and that I think that can possibly even contribute to Liverpool in the second half of the season, if Downing leaving means another player that Brendan Rodgers actually wants there coming in, I'm all for it. Again, tearing the squad down, the old squad, and rebuilding it to what Brendan Rodgers wants.
Well, look, this is and by the way, for the record, I was not entirely against Rodgers experimenting and putting him at left back. We were unfortunately short at left back, given the way that Enrique was injured for some portion of the season, and unfortunately there were even points where he was just terrible. Is he really good enough? Absolutely not. Should he be sold? Absolutely. Will he be sold? I don't know. But if we can get a bid of $8 million, it's going to be accepted.
Okay. So that's all for today with JLB Sports TV. I am Justin Block. We have agreed that both Stewart Downing and Joe Cole should be sold come January. Now, can they be? That's a little bit muddier just because of how much they're making.
Downing, I think he can. Joe Cole, no.
Maybe Downing. Okay. Now I want to know what you guys think. Number one, should Stewart Downing and Joe Cole be sold? And number two, do you think can they actually move on in January? Everybody have a happy holiday and YNWA.